With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back once again, race fans here to the Turn 3 Racing Network tonight. Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Performance Truck Series fires things off for race number 10 in season number 3. That's right, they're gonna end the regular season, switch gears next week, and get ready to chase a championship How you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, Dave in the Cave bringing you all the calls from the trackside right here for Swift Motorsports. 80 laps around this 2.5-mile tricky triangle, nestled right here just outside of the Pocono Mountains here in Pocono, Pennsylvania. And man, I'm telling you what, if last night's race alludes to what we're going to see here tonight, you could expect to see some great racing action all throughout the race last night. The Butt Kicker Airs iRacing Paint Torque Menard Series drivers put on quite a show, came down to a fuel mileage scenario. Race leader, race winner, pole sitter only had enough to get back around to his cool down lap, lost power in his machine on the cool down lap, ran out of gas, so that's just how close these drivers cut it on that fuel mileage last night. We'll have to wait to see how many of these drivers are willing to risk it tonight on fuel mileage as well. And in this 5-minute qualifying session, multiple drivers already getting on the speed charts. Mike Van Houten gonna go to the top of the speed charts. Quick time tonight for that 33. Van Houten 55.278, gonna take the top of the speed charts. Austin Hill in the 1, gonna put his Toyota Tundra top of the speed charts now, 55.122. Josh Winrich gonna go and top that, 54.943. Now the fast time here in qualifying in the Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Performance Truck Series. 19 drivers on the speed charts yet. We've still got Darren Clement, John McMillan Jr., Jonathan Holston, and Jeff Snyder out there on their qualifying laps. Does anybody have anything to top Josh Winrich at the top of this speed charts? The 84 goes fastest on the speedway, 54.943. Handful of drivers still out there trying. John McMillan Jr. goes inside the top 5 to third for a moment. He gets bumped back by Darren Clement. Now Jonathan Holston gonna slot in fourth with just about a minute and a half remaining in this 5-minute qualifying session. Fast and furious towards the end of this thing. It doesn't look like anybody else is going to have a shot at it. Darren Clement, Jonathan Holston, Jonathan McMillan Jr., last drivers really out there to be able to capture that top spot. We'll see how they go here on their second time laps. 60 seconds now remaining in qualifying, and Josh Winrich gonna take the top spot here in qualifying. It looks like just Clement, Holston, and McMillan Jr. still on their last time lap. I don't believe Brian Jablonski is going to put down a flyer on his second time lap. I have to wait to see where these drivers go, where they shake out. Looks like Holston called it quits with just about 30 seconds remaining. Jonathan McMillan Jr. going to stay fourth. Darren Clement not going to pick up any speed. He'll finish qualifying back in third, but the man at the top, Winrich, gonna take the pole position, 54.931 for the 84 machine. And with that being said, race fans, we're gonna step away for just a brief commercial break. Head down trackside for your national anthem, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
As we come back trackside, final few truck drivers beginning to make their way through final pre-race inspection. Pole sitter, second place, third, all the way back through fifth, still down there trying to get through that pre-race technical inspection. So that's going to give us a little bit of time to run down some official business. Why don't we go ahead and run down the championship standings points coming in here to the final race of the regular season here in season number 3 for the Swift Motorsports BUTTKICKER Performance Truck Series, live from the Tricky Triangle Pocono Raceway. John McMillan Jr. sitting tied at the top of the point standings with the 86 of Alan Young, both of them sitting at 312, 6 points back. You can find Kevin Haasen at 88. Haas has led the point standings for the past 3 to 4 weeks here, just losing out after last week's race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Greg Olenek, Sean Kozier, Lee Staples right there as well, just outside of your top 5. There you can see very close points battle all the way back through that top 16. Ron Shute sits right there in that 16th position. Cutoff chase chase cutoff line right there. So keep an eye on a handful of these drivers as they try to secure their spot in the chase, and it looks like the final few drivers have indeed made their way through final pre-race inspection. And as those bells begin to ring in the background, you know what that means. It's time to run down tonight's starting lineup from the Tricky Triangle. Starting inside row number 1, the 84 of Josh Weinrich. Just to his out partner in crime, there you can find the 1 of Austin Hill. Lining up inside row number 2 here tonight, the 32 of Darren Clement. Big Mac, John McMillan Sr. back through the field here tonight. Little John gonna start up in that 4th, excuse me, my goodness. Gonna start in that 4th position inside row number 6 here, rounding out your top 5 in the starting lineup, the 73 of Jonathan Holston. Mike Van Houten, the 33 machine, gonna line up outside row number 3 in that 6th position. Greg Olenek back in row 4, followed by Rhett Tucker. 05 of Eric Talent inside row number 5, and rounding out your top 10 here tonight, the 20 of Michael Madden. Alan Young, David Cameron back in row number 6, row number 7 here tonight from Pocono Raceway, the 5 of Lee Staples in the 7 of Tommy Holt. John McMillan Sr., Ron Shute gonna round out row number 8, row 9 here tonight, the 88 of Kevin Haas, followed by the 24 of Jeff Glockner. Vadim Kosadoy, Brian Jablonski gonna round out row number 10 in your top 20 here. Inside row number 11 in the 21st starting position, the 34 of Jeffrey Green, just to his outside, the 31 of Stephen Ayers Jr. Jeff Snyder rounds out the field with Jonathan Peel, Austin Albertson, Justin Gannon, Gary Wells, all up in race control here tonight, ready to keep all of these drivers straight as we work our way off of turn 3 for the first time. iRacing pace car down and away, and green flag flies for the first time here tonight at the Tricky Triangle. These Performance Motorsports Truck Series drivers going to put on a show for all you Swift fans here tonight, side by side down in turn number 1. Weinrich looks to keep that top spot. He's got a teammate just to his outside, the one of Austin Hill. He's going to line up second now, going down the backstretch out of turn number 1. They're going to head down to this short chute, the tunnel turn, if you will, here after the Long Pond straightaway. You'll see a lot of drivers mix things up here. Oh, too wide. Look at him sticking it in right there. Greg Olenek puts the Moo and Brews Sparkle and Shine mobile detailing machine a little further up through the field. He'll grab the 6th position for now, knocking on the door of a top 5. Tommy Holt able to get by Vadim Kosaroy for the 13th position. Ron Shute moves up to 16th, passes Kevin Haas. Red Tucker going to get by Jeff Glockner as we cross the line to complete lap number 1 here tonight, already on the board, and these drivers going to look to mimic what the Ayers iRacing Paints ARCA Menard Series drivers were able to do last night right here at the very same track. They're going to try to see if they can't get through this thing clean and green all the way through tonight's race, all 80 laps, green flag conditions. Can they do it? What do you say, race fans? Pole sitter Weinrich still leading. Austin Hill at the front of the field by 2/10, almost 3/10 of a second now. Hill leading McMillan Jr. just by about the same margin. 3 stacked up side by side there through turn 3, heading back down the straightaway. Darren Clement in the bush. Light Ford F-150. There you can see him. He's closing in on the back of those top 3 drivers, all nose to tail, trying to break away from the field. Greg Olenek, he's got a long string of trucks behind him as well, about 4 trucks tucked in behind that 78 Ford F-150. Holston, Eric Talent, Mike Van Houten right there, as well as Michael Madden. So your top 9 split in 2 separate packs, and it looks like Alan Young in the 86 is starting to lose a little bit of contact with that 9th position. Michael Madden gonna try to step away and build a little bit of a gap here, see if he can break some of this front pack up, as now Darren Clement going to look to the inside of the iRacing sponsored 15 machine piloted by John McMillan Jr. Ken Littlejohn finished the season out as the regular season champion. No points given to the regular season champion, but I mean, bragging rights nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? Austin Hill right there, you can see him, driver that went to victory lane in the real world in the truck series. That's right, if you caught the race at Knoxville, man, that was a wild and crazy one. And Hill grabbed the checkered flag, and that Hill looked to grab the checkered flag here tonight. Kosaroy making some moves in the back of the field. He'll get by Tommy Holt for the 11th position. Brian Jablonski also making up a few positions. He's up to 18th. Now Rhett Tucker is going to get by Tommy Holt for 12th. So Holt moving the wrong way, going backwards right now through this field. And Kosaroy is your biggest mover of the race so far here. We'll check him out. He's back here. Look at that, trying to make some moves, 2 and 3 wide, as he's got the 99 of, oh, and contact, 2 trucks into each other, the 7 and the 09, contact between Kosaroy and Tommy Holt. Both of those trucks slam into that outside wall. Somehow they both keep it going, and Tommy Holt's day is done. Smoke out of the tailpipe. You can see the right side of that truck all beaten and battered. You gotta wonder if he's even gonna be able to make it back to pit road to try to fix that thing and get back out. Kosadoi still under power in his Toyota Tundra, but the 09 has seen some better days. Look at the damage on the rear end of the 09. He's gonna have to come to pit road this time, I can assure you that. Back at the front, Weinrich still leading Hill, Clement, McMillan Jr., Greg Olenek rounding out your top 5. Jonathan Holston still right there. Eric Talon, Michael Madden, Mike Van Houten, and Alan Young rounding out your top 10. Rhett Tucker was able to avoid some a big time moment there. He was sitting just behind, just behind Kosadoi heading into turn number 1, and then Kosadoi went up the track, caught out with Tommy Holton, both of them slamming into that outside retaining wall. Luckily for the safety barrier, both of those truck drivers seem to be okay, both of them able to pilot their machines back to pit road, but the pit crew now gonna be the ones on the clock. They're gonna have to try to fix those trucks up, get them back out there on the track. And as we see some single file running here at Pocono Raceway already, we'll jump around just a little bit for a moment. Keep our eye right here on that 3rd and 4th position as Darren Clement was able to get by John McMillan Jr. He'll keep it to the high side through turn 1 and keep the 3rd spot for now. McMillan Jr. going to fall back right to where he started tonight's race in that 4th position. Brian Jablonski in the biggest mover of the race position right now. He's up 5 spots from where he started tonight's race back in the 20th position, now running 15th. He's going to look to close in on the drivers around him about a half a second in front of him. You'll find the 88 Ford F-150 piloted by Kevin Haas. Lee Staples just out behind those drivers. I apologize. Big Mac, next driver in line, just about a second in front of Brian Jablonski is John McMillan Sr. David Cameron in the 10 also out there in front. Ron Chute having a heck of a run so far here tonight. He's up 4 positions from where he started tonight's race. Let's go check out this Toyota driver as he makes his way off of turn number 1 down the Long Pond straightaway. That Dynamark sponsored machine's under fire now. He's got David Cameron looking to the inside, going into the tunnel turn, and no, around the outside, keeping the momentum wound up. Shoot! Goes right through the gap, and he's going to pull Cameron into turn number 3. Quite a distance up to the next driver there. You can see it right there. Rhett Tucker in the 99 making his way through turn 3 and down the front stretch, crossing the stripe, will begin lap number 9 out of the 80 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. On look overhead camera shot there of your race leader Josh Weinrich as he continues to lead Austin Hill and Darren Clement rounding out your top 3 positions. Just 1 leader so far here tonight. And we haven't really mentioned it, race fans, but while we check in with the weather report down there, let's see where that track temperature's sitting at right now. 104 degrees is where it's sitting at right here when we started tonight's race. 107 degrees for qualifying. It was even hotter in happy hour, so the track seems to be trending towards cooling off just a little bit. Air temperature dropping 3 degrees as well. So a little bit of relief for the race fans in the stands here tonight, watching these Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Performance Truck Series drivers put on quite a show. Top 3 starting to step away just a little bit now. There you can see John McMillan Jr. He's trying to hold on. Greg Olenek has dropped almost 1 second back behind this pack, and he's got himself a 1.5 second advantage there. You can see that big gap from Olenek back to Michael Madden and Jonathan Holston. Alan Young has moved up a little bit further in the top 10. He now sits in the 8th position. And just take a look at that timing scoring chart over on the left-hand side of your screens, race fans. You see it peppered with those turn 3 orange colors right there. Those are all drivers that have been to victory lane this season in the Performance Truck Series, that doesn't mean they're guaranteed a spot in the chase. You've got a handful of drivers that are pretty much locked in at this point, about your top 5, all pointing their way into the championship chase without any real worries about tonight. But 8 different race winners this season in the Performance Truck Series. No driver has been able to really separate themselves. And as of late, over the past 3 to 4 weeks, we have seen Weinrich kind of show up and do really, really well. Went to victory lane there a handful of weeks ago back at Iowa. Sat on the pole for last week's race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Unfortunately, had some trouble, so he did not finish that race out. And again, he's going to go top of the speed charts in qualifying here tonight at Pocono. Very different track. And that's how you know there's some speed. And it's not all built into the truck. Some of it is that truck driver inside. And speaking of truck driver inside, why don't we go ahead down on board? I do believe we have an onboard camera shot here tonight with that one of Austin Hill. Let's see if we can't climb aboard and have a ride around Pocono Raceway here with Hill. You could hear the throttle modulation right there for a moment as, have a little bit of connection issue there for a brief little spot with Austin Hill. But those top 2 drivers now being able to separate themselves as John McMillan Jr. and Darren Clement. They're going to begin to go at it with each other for 3rd and 4th on the raceway. Greg Olenek still about a second off of those 2 drivers, as now it looks like Darren Clement beginning to fall to the wayside. But you could hear the little bit of throttle modulation that Hill was using, not just on the entry, but the exit, being nice and gentle into that gas, a little whop of the throttle, and then easing into it. And he's going to be able to keep the tires on that Great House sponsored number 1 machine, as he's still having a little bit of blinking issues. We'll go around the track just a little bit. Let's see, they're going to stay nose to tail, so teammates at the bottom of the track going by the wounded trucks here. Austin Hill looking to get a little bit of help with a sniff of the draft. Not going to be able to do anything with it this time by. He'll stay right behind that 84 of Weinrich, as Weinrich continues to lead every lap so far here tonight since the drop of the green flag. We're going to jump around back to the rear of the field right now. Check out this 4-5 truck pile up right here. Multiple drivers involved in this little battle. John McMillan Sr., Jeff Gluckner battling it out back there. There you can see now John McMillan Jr. going by these back markers. Darren Clement trying to make his way back up through them. There you can see now we look back on the Long Pond straightaway to the 33 of Mike Van Houten, as he's got Jonathan Holston right behind him. Just a half a second in front lies Michael Madden in that 7th position. So there you can see those 2 drivers. Alan Young going at it, as Greg Olenek and Michael Madden, they come to pit road already on lap number 15. Looks like we have some fuel strategy playing out already. Looks like truck drivers running this thing backwards. We've known crew chiefs to employ that strategy in the real world, use kind of a road course approach to it. As soon as that fuel window opens, go ahead and pit and go instead of running it out each time. Sometimes it works out in the advantage, sometimes not so much. Drivers to pit road, though, Olenek and Madden, they will have a big-time advantage on tires here, over 16 laps by the time they get back out on the track. As Olenek now coming off of pit road, Michael Madden pulls back onto the racing surface and down into turn number 1. They'll stay on the lead lap, and here comes Eric Talent to pit road this time around. And you know, this is a paint scheme we don't see very much or very often, or at least I don't. And I'm really digging it. That yellow to green fade John Deere. That wrap looks absolutely beautiful. Loving it. And on to some other battles here tonight on track. There's Lee Staples, John Peel, Kevin Haas all battling with each other. Staples trying to get back up there to Jeff Gluckner, about 1 second in front of those two drivers, as Gluckner trying to run back down John McMillan Sr., who sits in the 12th position. Brian Jablonski, your driver sitting just outside of your top 10. There you can see a man on screen right there closing in on the 10 of David Cameron, as no truck drivers to pit road this time by. What do these three drivers do? They'll stay out on track as well. John Peel will keep himself tucked right in between Lee Staples and Kevin Haas as they begin to break away just a little bit. I believe that is Jeffrey Green in the 34 machine starting to fall to the wayside. The 29 of Jeff Snyder a little bit off pace here tonight. He sits back in the 17th position. And how about that? Olenek, Talent, Madden, all able to keep themselves on the lead lap as they completed their green flag pit cycle. Just how much longer will these truck drivers out here stay out on track? You got to think about the advantage that is being gained by those drivers that already came down to pit road. If you come in the next 5 laps, well, you're only going to have 5 laps fresher tires than them. The gain that they're going to have is still going to be a little bit bigger. David Cameron, Jablonski, as well as John McMillan Sr., Gluckner, and Jeff Snyder. They all come to pit road, so 5 truck drivers peel off the track and head down to pit road. Rhett Tucker now looking to take some spots away. There you can see the wounded 09 machine. He'll mix it up just a little bit. There you can see also, I believe that's Jonathan Holston in the 73 machine. Yes, it is. He's going to look to try to go by the 09 down on there on the inside lane. Not going to do that just yet. Going to stay back behind him. Tuck it in down there in turn number 3. Look for the runoff. Now your race leaders, your top 4, all to pit road. Mike Van Houten in the 33. He's going to stay out on track. He'll be your first new race leader here tonight. Finally, a lead change, our second race leader of the evening. And with those top with the top runners here tonight peeling to pit road that time by, they brought a ton of drivers with them, 10 of them to be exact, down onto pit road this time around. Mike Van Houten and Kevin Haas to stay out, extending the fuel run here. Greg Olenek, next driver back, still on the track, and he's beginning to leapfrog all of those drivers that came down pit road. He'll leapfrog Hill and Weinrich, and Olenek with the short pit gonna pull the undercut. We'll have to see how well that works for him, how big of a gap he's able to pull on the drivers that he's around. And now your race leader Van Houten's gonna peel to pit road. What will Kevin Haas and that Budweiser sponsored 88 machine do this time around? Look for him to more than likely head to pit road, and indeed that's where he is gonna go. And here is Olenek in position to capitalize and get a lap led. Ken, the 78 Sparkle and Shine Moo and Brew machine driver out of Fort Mill, South Carolina. Ken, he crossed the line with the race lead, and yes, he's going to lead a lap. That's going to give us our second lead change amongst 3 different drivers now here at the Tricky Triangle, Pocono Raceway. And how about the job done by Weinrich? He's able to put a big gap on Austin Hill. There you can see Hill just off in the background, about 1.7 seconds back from Weinrich. And man, he just smoked him on and off pit road, really. We're going to look at that pit crew time there. A 14:40 for Weinrich as he goes back to the point. Ooh, close right there, boy. That was, I don't know. A little too close for comfort there if I'm the 78 of Greg Olenek, but nonetheless, at a turn 3, Weinrich back to the point. But as we were saying about those pit crews, Weinrich with a 14:40 on the pit stop, and Austin Hill's crew a 15:22. That is 0.8 of a second slower. And well, that's why you see him. He's about 1.3 seconds behind your race leader now after that slow stop from the crew. We'll have to see if they can't pick up the pace, pick up the speed, and the efficiency should we see another round of green flag pit stops. This one cycling itself on through right around lap number 20 here tonight. So just a quarter of the way through tonight's race. And we're starting to see a few drivers separate themselves throughout this field. We'll jump around just a little bit. There you can see that 99 of Rhett Tucker just inside of your top 10, running in the 8th position. Now Ron Shute and David Cameron, they're going to go at it just in front of John McMillan Sr. That's going to be 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, all lined up right there on the track, running with each other. That's going to be anybody's game here. 3.9 seconds back, you can find the vibe of Lee Staples. He'll round out your top 15 as we cross the line to begin lap number 22 here tonight in the Swift Motorsports BUTTKICKER Performance Truck Series. Keep your eye on that ticker, on that scroller over there on the bottom of your screen. You'll find some great information as well as some upcoming events here in Swift Motorsports. And if you haven't already, race fans, join us in that push to 2,000 subscribers. Drop these drivers a thumbs up. Let them know you love what they're doing. Hit subscribe and smash that bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by. Whether you're just sliding through to say hey, or you are one of the dedicated fans, friends, family, or possibly even sponsors, we do appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, there would be no us. So show these drivers some love and drop them a thumbs up. Austin Hill able to get by Greg Olenek just a lap ago. Olenek going to drop back to the 3rd position now, still up 4 spots from where he started tonight's race, and he's got about 4 lap older tires than the drivers around him, but he's gonna, it's gonna be interesting to see the way that his fuel strategy kind of plans out here, because he's gonna have to come to pit road here in the next, I would say, about 5 laps or so. And he's going to continually have that big lap difference on these drivers for a good time being. So in it for the long run here. Long strategy, long game being employed out there by a few of these truck drivers here tonight. Greg Olenek came to pit road back on lap 14, as well as Michael Madden, Eric Talent to pit road on lap 15. Kind of a little shake back from there. You've got him down to pit road on lap 16, 17, and 18. As now Vadim Kosadoy looks like he's going to pull that 9 back down to pit road. Fall a handful more laps down here tonight. Tough break for that 09 contact with Tommy Holt in the outside retaining wall, and Kosadoy back onto pit road. Sean, you can move over. That's awesome, man. Oh. Olenek running strong though right now, still holding a podium position. He's got himself still about a 1.5 second advantage over John McMillan Jr. back to that 4th spot. So look for Olenek to try to keep the speed, keep the pace as close as he can until he has to come back down to pit road for his next green flag pit stop. We'll keep it on David Cameron right here for just a moment, because he's got Brian Jablonski as well as John McMillan Sr. beginning to close in on them. Big gap back to John Peel and Jeff Glockner. That's another 5 seconds back on this 2.5-mile tricky triangle. And how about Austin Hill? He's closing that gap. He's closing the distance. Advantage for Weinrich there for a moment was about a second and a half over Austin Hill, and now Hill has chopped that down to just 0.8 of a second, and Olenek really starting to slow up here. He's now over 4 seconds back as John McMillan Sr. and Michael Madden, they're going to begin to close in on him. Alan Young just in front of Rhett Tucker, that 99 now up to the 7th position. Up just one spot from where he started tonight's race, but still moving forward, and that's what you kind of need to do throughout the entirety of tonight's race, whether it's just one at a time or a handful in one turn. As long as you're moving forward, you're moving in the right direction. Olenek gonna lose the 3rd position this time around. John McMillan Jr. in the iRacing sponsored 15 machine puts that Chevy Silverado up and around the blue oval. That's right. Looks like the Fords are struggling a little bit here tonight. Olenek sitting in 4th, your highest running Ford driver. He's got another Ford right behind him. Michael Madden in the 20 machine. He's back rounding out your top 5. There you can see him right there. Got a 2.3 second advantage over Alan Young. Young in that 86 machine has yet to go to victory lane this year as we go to an overhead onboard camera shot here with the Sparkle and Shine mobile detailing 20 machine of Michael Madden. Alan Young, Rhett Tucker starting to close in. Let's keep an eye on this little battle that's about to develop between these two truck drivers. I'll tell you what, why don't we go? Believe we have one of those onboard camera shots. There you go. Yeah, Rhett Tucker right around tonight with the track racer onboard camera shot for us. There you can see him heading down into turn number 3, looking to gain a spot in a position on Alan Young and notch another driver under his belt. Rhett Tucker looking for a top 5. He runs in 7th as we cross the line to begin lap number 29 out of the 80 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. And Sean, sorry you missed tonight's race. Can't wait to see you back out on the track, and good to have you. Good to see you checking in here. I tell you what, go get your friends, go tell your friends, get them all over here, man. We'll have a good old time in the chat watching these drivers put down a great race here tonight in the Swift Motorsports Performance Truck Series. Rhett Tucker still sitting in that 7th position, still trying to close in and run down the 86 of Alan Young, still in that 6th spot. Austin Hill still chopping that lead down. That Weinrich holds over the field right now, 0.6 of a second now, separating 1st from 2nd as John McMillan Jr. starting to close that gap. That's now under a 3-second gap to Austin Hill, but just about a 5-second gap now to a 1st place runner Josh Weinrich, as your pole sitter here tonight has started to kind of check out, but the field slowly beginning to reel him back in and run him back down towards the tail end of the green flag run here. Look for drivers to head to pit road here very shortly. Drivers right on the cusp of having to come back down to fill those fuel cells. There you can see some upcoming race events. Those are chase races, that's right. We'll kick things off for chase race number 1 here in season number 3 for the Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Performance Truck Series at the track. Too tough to tame, that's right. The Lady in Black, Darlington Raceway, gonna host the opening race in the championship chase in season number 3 here. Then we will head to Las Vegas, then down south to Texas, back over to Richmond, and round out the championship night down there in sunny Homestead, Miami, Florida. It's going to be a beautiful racing night to crown a champion. Here in just a handful of weeks, we're going to jump around the track. I tell you what, why don't we go up to this, what will be a 3, almost 4 truck battle here very shortly, because Michael Madden has begun to run down that 78 of Greg Olenek. Alan Young starting to run down Michael Madden as well, and there you can see Young utilizing that draft down these very long straightaways to close the distance on the Sparkle and Shine Sparkle and Shine Long MacArthur Ford. The sponsored 20 of Michael Madden, and there you can see Alan Young gonna look to the inside. Will he pull the move? Yes, he's gonna drop down there, trying to take that spot away, heading into the tunnel turn. Into the tunnel turn, they stay side by side, drag race out of it and into turn number 3. Advantage to that 20 of Michael Madden. He'll scoot away just a little bit once again, as now Olenek, he's had a chance to kind of walk away from the field a little bit, and Olenek looks like he comes to pit road as well as Michael Madden. Eric Talent gonna peel off and continue that trend of coming to pit road all on the same lap. Back to the front. Looky here, looky here. Weinrich has got that company once again. Austin Hill has closed in, has run him down. Hill, man, he has got a fireball out there tonight on the track. Gap now under 0.2 of a second all over the rear deck lid of Weinrich. There you can see Austin Hill. Look for him to maybe try to dive down going into turn number 1. Let's take a look back. Look how close it is. Good gosh, that's close. Big push on Weinrich. Does Hill look to drop it to the inside? No. Gonna follow him into turn 1. Oh, and you can hear him. He's shifting gears. Weinrich shifting gears through the center of turn 1. Dropped it from 4th to 3rd. We're going to have to keep our eye out there on that one. Was that intentional, or did the shifter pop out of gear? Did the transmission kind of come out of gear there? We'll have to keep our eye. We'll rejoin that onboard camera shot a little bit later on throughout tonight's race, but still, Weinrich, your pole sitter, leads the race here tonight. Only 3 lead changes amongst 3 different drivers. Green flag pit stops underway for the second time here tonight, as drivers slowly begin to close in on that halfway point. Lap number 35 now underway. Just 5 laps away from this halfway point. Should we see some rain roll into the... Ooh, open up the door. Man, Weinrich opened up the door right there. Kind of missed the bottom of the raceway going in through turn 1 there, but Austin Hill plays nice. He's not going to look to take advantage of it just yet. He'll stay tucked in, run right behind that 84 for the time being, as John McMillan Jr. going to come to pit road this time by Ron Shute. Stephen Ayers Jr. already completing their second green flag pit stop. And look at the gap right there. Back to Austin Hill, man. I mean, back to Alan Young from behind Austin Hill. It's 12 seconds, more than 12 seconds to get to Hill. Just about 2 more tenths there to Weinrich. So 12.5 second deficit for Alan Young, as Rhett Tucker going to pull that 99 truck down to pit road this time by. Tucker, Jablonski, David Cameron, Big John McMillan Sr., Jeff Gluckner, and John Peel all to pit road that time by. Tucker's going to make his way into his pit box. No problems there. Left side, up, down, and away goes Red Tucker. He'll make his way back down pit road, and your top two drivers going to peel off. Weinrich going to give up the race lead. Alan Young, what will he do? What will this 86 machine do? Will he stay out on track? There's the 28 trying to get himself back on the lead lap, and yes, Young going to come to pit road. Van Houten in the 33, he's going to extend it. He'll go back to the point for the second time here tonight. There you can see John McMillan, senior driver, that has already been down to pit road for the second time, just out in front of Mike Van Houten, who's running at the top of the speed charts right now. In that top spot has Jonathan Holston still out on track with him. Not very many drivers left to make their second green flag pit stop here. Looks like just about 4 drivers have yet to come to pit road for their second stop, and we've had one retirement. The 09 of Vadim Kosadoy caught up in a little bit of an incident with that 7 of Tommy Holt, and Kosadoy has pulled it behind pit wall. Looks like they're loading that Tundra back on the hauler, and we'll look for Kosadoy next week at Darlington. Unfortunate luck for that 09 crew. They'll walk away with the 24th and final finishing spot here tonight. Darren Clement already down and in his box, down and away from there, making his way back up to speed. Van Houten extending this run a little bit further here. And how about Weinrich and Alston Hill? They were able to get back out on track and keep themselves in front of Greg Olenek this time during this cycle of green flag pit stops. I do apologize, a little bit of throat problems, I guess. I don't know. But I hear you, Sean, in the mountains, huh? Well, I live in the mountains. Just saying. Van Houten going to pull from the track down to pit road this time by. That's going to put the race lead back in the hands of this man right here, who wasn't able to shake Austin Hill this time. Hill gonna stay with Weinrich as he's gonna cross the line, reassume the race lead. 5th different lead change of the night. We had 11 lead changes last night in the ARCA Menard Series. Doesn't look like we're gonna have quite that many lead changes here tonight at Pocono Raceway in the final regular season race here in season number 3 for the Swift Motorsports Performance Truck Series drivers. And next time by, we will begin the halfway lap. And your top 2 have absolutely stepped away. A 7-second advantage for those top 2 over Greg Olenek, who's got Michael Madden, Red Tucker, Alan Young, Kevin Haas, Mike Van Houten, and Jonathan Holston, while Eric Talent rounds out your top 10 here tonight. Last time by, Austin Hill running the fastest lap on the track, fastest lap of the race, a 55:09 here during the race. That is almost a full 10th and a half faster than the previous fastest lap held by your race leader, Josh Weinrich. So Hill really utilizing that draft, really able to make the truck work in the dirty air, and that's something that's got to be important, because once you run up on these lap traffic, these back markers here, you got to be able to put the truck where they're not. You don't have to just run the bottom. You got to be able to run to the top, and that dirty air will definitely affect the way the trucks handle. Here at Pocono, it seems that turn number 1, really the trouble corner in most opinion. The way it pitches down there into the center of the corner, trucks can unload just a little bit. Tail end can get a little bit light. But right now, looks like Weinrich and Hill able to mitigate the loose conditions here tonight at Pocono Raceway. We'll check in once again with that weather report, see how the track's doing out there, and the track is dropping in temperature, almost 10-degree drop. If you remember, race fans, we checked in at the beginning of tonight's race. 41 laps ago, track temperature was 104 degrees. So a 10-degree track temperature drop. There has got to be a little bit of grip somewhere out there on the raceway if these truck drivers haven't already put down enough rubber to kind of slick the track up a little bit down there. And some of these entries to the corner, we'll have to look to see how turn 2 is really starting to develop and how drivers' lines are going to begin to slowly change and slowly migrate to a little bit higher of an arc to really keep the grip on that right rear tire. There you can see Lee Staples now going to split the drivers at the front. Little bit of a pick by Weinrich. How about that for a move to slow down Austin Hill in that one machine? Gonna jump around just a little bit. We'll go back here with the 10 of David Cameron for a moment. Now check back in with Austin Hill at the front of the field. Looks like the guys on the cameras just want to jump around a little bit. Try to bring you some of the great camera shots out there on the track here tonight as we stay green flag racing. Since the drop of the initial green flag here tonight, lap number 43 out of the 80 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. Now already on the board, 42 in the bag. We are past that halfway point. And how many pit stops are left? What do you think? It looks like drivers had to make 2 pit stops before lap number 40. Are they going to try to extend the run? Is anybody out there going to be able to extend that run? Keep in mind, Mike Van Houten came to pit road on lap number 38. That is almost 2 to 3 laps longer than anybody else on the track. Is Van Houten extending those runs to his advantage and possibly working himself into maybe a 3-stop race instead of a 4-stop race? We'll have to wait to see how it all shakes out. On board overhead camera shot now with that 31 of Stephen Ayers Jr. as he's battling with Brian Jablonski. There you can see Jablonski just out in front of him in that 07 truck. Greg Olenek just off in the background. There you can see him as well. Olenek running in that 3rd position, but almost 9.5 seconds back behind Austin Hill and Josh Weinrich. So the gap closing a little bit here as Weinrich and Hill continue to battle with each other nose to tail. We'll take a look at them right here going down the front straightaway back across the line. Lap number 45 now on the board. This is your closest battle on the track between your race leader, your pole sitter, Josh Weinrich, and Austin Hill running in that 2nd position. There you can see him tucked in all up underneath that rear deck lid, underneath the rear spoiler of that 84. A lot of air moving over the top, not a lot of air on the nose for Hill. So you also have to wonder whether or not that's affecting those front tires. Or are they getting the grip and the wear that they really need without having the downforce on the nose of that truck? How well are those front tires really gripping? And if he steps out in the middle of a corner from behind the 84 truck, how is the car going to react? How is the truck going to handle with a burst of fresh air and a burst of downforce on the front end of that truck? He's not looked to make a pass here in the past about 15 to 17 laps. He's just really hung out right behind his teammate here. So when will Hill make the move? It's all fun and games. Everybody's buddies till the last lap. And then it's every man for himself. Going to be interesting to see if this battle continues throughout the rest of tonight's race. And as we have crossed that halfway point threshold, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, but don't go anywhere, race fans, as we stay swift side by side. You won't miss a thing from the track right here at Pocono Raceway. We'll come back to the track. Caution on the speedway. Stephen Ayers Jr. has had some trouble. Let's take a look back and see how it all went down. Let's see what happened with that 31 of Stephen Ayers Jr. There you can see him tucked in right behind the 88 machine, and there's the 5 of Lee Staples, who bounces off the wall a little bit and into that right rear quarter, I apologize, of the 31 machine. Sent him around for a ride. We'll take another look at it here from this vantage point. There you can see the contact. Staples off the wall, catches the right rear, and around goes the 31 hard. Oh my gosh, that was the hard impact right there, and that is pretty much gonna put an end to the night to the driver inside of that truck. Looks like Stephen Ayers Jr. not going to recover after this one. We'll go with an onboard camera shot here. There you can see just all of a sudden to the right, and that is rough. You can hear the engine parts kind of dropping out the back end of that thing when all that happened there. Tough break for the 31 of Stephen Ayers Jr., who was running well here tonight. That's going to open up things at the front for fuel strategy. Race leader down pit road. He'll bring the field down with him. Weinrich going to lead a parade of trucks down pit road. And, well, we'll break for that commercial break now, but don't worry, we'll be back with all your green flag action right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. In back trackside as promised, not missing any of the action. How about this new race leader for the first time? Austin Hill gonna beat Josh Weinrich off of pit road, and Hill take the top spot for the time being. Coming to the restart on lap number 51. We will have 30 laps remaining here tonight from the Tricky Triangle. Drivers have been mixing it up all night long right here at Pocono Raceway. Can't wait to see what they've got in store for these final few laps here. It's going to be a barn burner, I can assure you that. And the 5 of Lee Staples caught up involved with Stephen Ayers Jr., who is already back behind pit wall. Staples down still on pit road, trying to fix the damage on his truck after the contact with the outside wall, contact with another truck, and a little bit more contact with that outside wall. Staples, a little bit of a pinball on our first caution of the evening, coming out right there around lap number 48. We're going to double them up, re-rack them, restack them, and restart them. This time, Racing pace car going to duck off there. You can see making that left-hand turn. Wait for it, wait for it. Here we go. Green flag racing once again as the boss man gets to drop the green flag for the second time here tonight. And it looks like Austin Hill had a little bit of a slow go getting up through the gears. How about that 78 of Greg Olenek? He's running in the third spot now. And contact, the 20 of Michael Madden into the 84. Weinrich goes around. Josh Weinrich goes around, and hard impact for Weinrich. We'll take a look back at that as Weinrich gets a toe back. Oh, and there's the contact around the, hard lick. Oh my gosh. The 29 of Jeff Snyder. Oh, that hurts. We'll take one more look at it here. What do you say, race fans? There you can see the contact already underway. Hard impact backed into the back wall. Oh, and there's the We talked about a pinball, and that was a pinball if I have ever seen one. Race leader, pole sitter, Josh Weinrich had the most laps led in the bag, and now his night got much longer. After contact with the 20 of Michael Madden, he goes into the outside wall, bounces it off the outside wall after caving in the rear end of that truck, and then contact between the 07 of Brian Jablowski, sending him flying back to the infield, and Jeff Snyder in the 29 Ford F-150. He's going to come in there, get collected as well in the Space Invaders Atari-sponsored truck. Tough break there, man. I tell you what, Jeff Snyder nowhere really to go. The 29 is now back behind pit wall. His night is done. Snyder will fall through the running order. Looks like he'll finish somewhere right around the 20th position here tonight. We have had a handful of retirements in tonight's race, a few of them stemming from that hard contact and impact right there. Tough break for a handful of those drivers. A little bit of house cleaning in order here as we come back to a crawl back behind that iRacing pace car. 24 drivers took to the starting grid here tonight. We have got 4 drivers out of tonight's race, 20 drivers left on the track, with, I believe it's going to be 17 drivers on the lead lap. Lee Staples should receive a waiver round, but that's a lucky dog, I should say, but that's only going to put him 1 lap down. He's still going to have a little bit more help to get himself back onto the lead lap, and no, it looks like Tommy Holt is going to get the lucky dog, and Lee Staples going to have to wait for a waiver round, so he's not going to be able to come back down to pit road. And if he was involved in that latest incident here, he's not going to be able to fix that damage either. So the field back to a crawl here at Pocono Raceway. That's a hard one to swallow there. If you're any of those drivers involved, really, Michael Madden, not really, didn't look like anything malicious or aggressive there out of the 20. Looks like the 84 just kind of went up the track maybe a half of a lane, and that was just enough to let Michael Madden get into the rear end of that truck, and that got him loose and sent him around. Then Weinrich going to collect Jablonski as well as Jeff Snyder. Snyder and Jablonski involved after the fact, and really Jeff Snyder taking the brunt of the damage there, as Brian Jablonski has been able to get down to pit road, fix his truck up just a little bit, and get back up to the lead pack here. As there you can see Lee Staples getting the wave around. He's got a long way to go to catch back up to the field. Man, that's a tough hit right there. But if you're Austin Hill, you never want to see anybody really involved in any hard contact and out of a race here, but at times when your biggest competitor seems to have some troubles, that can really open up the door for you to kind of hit the reset button, kind of relax a little bit, let the shoulders drop for a second here under caution, and really, you know, get yourself really ready to go here. You know that your hardest competitor, your toughest competitor, is now way behind the 8-ball, if not completely out of the race here from that hard triple impact that he took under that second caution. Really just focus in on getting up through the gears cleanly and then getting to your marks as you head into turn number 1. This is going to be a big-time restart here for Austin Hill. He's going to have to be on it. He's going to have to separate himself from the field. And I don't know, because that 78 Moo and Brew Sparkle and Shine machine, he's been fast all night as well. So now he's going to start outside row number 1 with a chance to possibly take the race lead by the time they exit turn 1. This is going to get good. It's not over yet, folks. We've got a long way to go. 26 laps, I do believe, to be exact, when we cross the line next time by, or this time by, I should say, as the boss man waits for it and drops the hammer once again. Green flag flies here at Pocono Raceway in the final race of the regular season here for Swift Motorsports BUTTKICKER Performance Truck Series. Olenek with a little bit of a rough start. He's going to have Hill get by without any real battle for that top spot, as now Alan Young going to slide in third and slide up the track in front of that 05 of Eric Talent. They'll run nose to tail down the Long Pond straightaway. The 05 of Talent may look to the inside. No, he's going to stay tucked in, and right behind him, there's the John Deere 33 of Mike Van Houten. He's back up in the mix. Van Houten rounding out your top 5. Biggest mover of the race right now, the 34 Ford F-150, piloted by that driver right there. You can see him running in the 11th position. He's up 10 spots from where he started tonight's race. Close running at the front. Alan Young's been able to get by the 78 of Olenek in turn 1. Alan Young goes to second for the first time here tonight. And as we cross the line, and Olenek gonna come to pit road. Oh my gosh. That was very unexpected here. Do these drivers not have enough fuel to make it to the end? Is Olenek playing the short game here? Is he already gonna come to pit road, top it off? We'll keep our eye on the pit road time here at Olenek to see if there's tires involved or just a splash and go here. We thought we had an interesting race. It just got a little bit more interesting with Weinrich out of tonight's race. Now a driver sitting inside your top three, braking for pit road very early after the drop of the green flag for the restart. And does Alan Young have anything for Austin Hill? We haven't really seen a ton of speed out of that 86 truck. He's been kind of mired back in traffic, kind of running around that 5th through 8th position for most of tonight's race. And now with just about 23 laps remaining here tonight from the Tricky Triangle at Pocono Raceway, out of the 80 scheduled in the official race distance, Alan Young starting to hunt down Austin Hill at the front. Hill looking to break the draft. Hill snake down the Long Pond straightaway. Big snake right there. Nonetheless, tell you what, race fans, we haven't done it yet, as we've got a few drivers heading to pit road this time by as well. Brian Jablonski gonna head to pit road once again, I do believe, for the final time. Why don't we run down your driver highlights and spotlights? Driver taking over the race lead under a yellow flag pit stop, grabbing the top spot from Josh Weinrich on pit road. Austin Hill leads this field. Driver inside of the Great House 1 Toyota Tundra trying to get back to victory lane here in Swift Motorsports. We've seen Hill go to victory lane last season. He repeated here tonight at Pocono. Driver sitting right there behind him, tucked up, running quick at the front of this field. He's up 9 spots from where he started tonight's race outside of your top 10. Alan Young runs in second. Little bit of a newcomer making his way onto the scene. How about this John Deere sponsored 33 machine of Mike Van Houten sitting right there in the 3rd position. Final driver inside those podium spots, but don't blink an eye. He's got Eric Talent right there in the 05, just behind him in that 4th position. And rounding out your top 5, the driver sitting inside one of my favorite paint schemes, the Busch Ford F-150 of Darren Clement. He's going to take that 5th spot away now. Clement going to move to 4th. And that's going to round out your top 5, but let's go back and highlight your biggest mover of the race so far here tonight. John Peel started all the way back, tail end of the field. Shotgun Sally here tonight from Pocono Raceway, in Peel has moved up 14 positions. He now runs in 12th. That's going to do it for your driver highlights and spotlights. We'll jump back up to the front. 2 truck breakaway. Austin Hill, Alan Young separating themselves from Darren Clement, Mike Van Houten, and Eric Talent, as Clement has been able to get by Van Houten for the 3rd position, so move Houten back to 4th. Eric Talent rounds out your top 5. John McMillan Sr. with a strong run. He sits in 6th, just a handful of seconds back, 1.7 seconds back to be exact. And how about Ron Schutte in that 28 truck? He's up 9 spots. He's inside the top 10. He's sitting in the 7th position. Rhett Tucker in the Ford F-150. Malware Bites sponsored machine. He sits inside the top 10 in the 8th position. Jeff Gluckner in the iRacing Drivers World sponsored 24 Chevy Silverado back in 9th, and rounding out your top 10. Whoa! Gluckner almost into the outside wall and a little bit of contact. That's going to let Jeffrey Green and Kevin Haas go by. John Peel now going to look to make his way to the inside and take the spot away from Gluckner. Gluckner down 4 spots in 1 straightaway. Tough break there for the driver sitting inside that iRacing Driver World sponsored number 24 machine. And now Ron Schutte with a little bit of a scrape of the wall, and Rhett Tucker gonna motor right on past and down the Long Pond straightaway into turn number 2. Austin Hill still leading Alan Young by 0.2 of a second. They have almost 2.5 seconds over Darren Clement but we seen a driver head to pit road. We seen Greg Olenek pull that 78 Moo and Brew Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing Long MacArthur Ford sponsored machine down to pit road right after the latest restart. Was he short on fuel? Was he not going to make it? That's the big question here. And when will the rest of the field come down to pit road? That's the next question to ask yourselves as Tommy Holt down and away for the final time here tonight. The 7 machine of Holt involved in our first racing incident. No caution flag flew for that incident, but he's been damaged out there, just scratching, fighting, clawing his way up through the running order, as now he is listed in the 19th position. As we now have 5 drivers out of tonight's race. 24 drivers started the race here tonight from Pocono Raceway, and now Rhett Tucker, he pulls the pit road. Truck drivers do not have enough fuel. Whoa, oh, Michael Madden, big lockup coming to pit road. We'll have to check to see if the pit road police are going to pop him for speeding or not. Going to jump back out on the track. Tell you what, to go right here with Eric Talon and Michael Van Houten. That's 4th and 5th on the speedway. Van Houten looks to take the Toyota Tundra down to the inside and into the tunnel turn. He's going to grab that spot with a fair amount of ease. Van Houten now in 4th and looks to climb back up there and challenge Darren Clement, who's beginning to step away. Clement rounds out the podium spot so far here tonight. Austin Hill still leading Alan Young. Gonna jump around a little bit. Let's check in on Greg Olenek there. You can see nobody really around Olenek as he sits in that 14th position. Will he be able to leapfrog all the drivers that he needs to? And he's got a big time gap between himself. Oh, and Greg Olenek coming to pit road again. Oh no, Olenek, trouble here tonight. Something has went awry on that 78 truck, and he has to come back down to pit road. I thought he was sitting in the catbird seat, but unfortunately, looks like there is gonna be some trouble for Olenek here tonight. Gonna end his run of top 5s that he has put on. Alan Young gonna go to the top spot. Austin Hill peels for pit road this time around. That's going to give us our 7th different lead change amongst 5 different drivers here tonight. Darren Clement now into 2nd as Mike Van Houten back inside a podium spot. 15 laps remaining, and it has become a fuel game once again here from Pocono Raceway. We seen last night in the Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Airs iRacing Paints Arca Menard Series. We seen the fuel strategy play out. We seen that game. We seen great racing action. We've seen that once again here tonight. We've seen big groups of trucks, small groups of trucks. We've seen truck drivers separating themselves from each other in groups of 2, 3, 5 trucks running with each other, as now a little bit of a log jam coming onto pit road. Almost contact between that 05 of Eric Talent and the 33 John Deere machine sponsored by Mike Van Houten. Van Houten on the inside. He's going to look to see if he can get a clean run into his pit box. Back up front with your race leader for the time being right here, 86 of Alan Young. He's yet to come to pit road. He's been to pit road back on lap number 48. That was knocking on the door of right about 20 laps ago. So we'll have to see when he's going to be able to get back down to pit road, and how long does he stay down there. Austin Hill, 4 tire and fuel stop for him, and he'll rejoin the track back in the 4th position, as now Alan Young going to peel off. He'll give up the race lead. David Cameron in the 10 machine, what's he going to do? He's heading down the short, shooting into turn number 3 this time around. Jonathan Holston still yet to make his final stop of the night, but he came down to pit road on lap number 52, so he's got a little bit of time. He's got some buffer zone to work with, as Holston gonna be another new race leader here as we begin to close in on those final laps tonight. Just 13 laps remaining here in the regular season for these Performance Motorsports Truck Series drivers in season number 3. What a run it's been here in Swift Motorsports. Man, I tell you what, these truck drivers week in, week out, putting on a show, and tonight has not disappointed one bit. Wow, blazing fast lap by Austin Hill with those 4 freshies on that Toyota Tundra. He's going to drop a 54.85, almost quicker. It's quicker than your qualifying time. Let's double check that. Yes, quicker than qualifying. Josh Winwich grabbed the pole position here tonight with a 54.931. Austin Hill, fastest lap of the race, 54.851. And then here we go again, fuel mileage racing towards the end of the race. What's going to happen? How's it all going to shake down? Holston has himself a 10-second advantage. I'm not sure he's going to be able to hold off those fresh tires by Austin Hill, though. Looking at the last time by, race leader ran a 58.19. Austin Hill turning in a 55.20. So Hill definitely faster, almost 3 seconds faster. And that race lead just absolutely dropping every step of the way right now. Already now down to almost 8.5 seconds, and you can see that gap continuing to just absolutely disappear. I don't know, race fans. This is going to be pretty close. I'm calculating that he's 4 laps short. But is he going to be able to save at all now with that gap back to Austin Hill being under 10 seconds? It's already now under 7 seconds, as he's going to lose yet another almost 3 seconds last time around. He ran a 58.06 to Austin Hill's 55.16. So that is just like, just at 3 seconds. I mean, 2.9? And there it is, 73. He's going to wave the white flag. He's going to come to pit road and end his attempt to spoil the show here tonight on Stretching the Fuel. Austin Hill going to go back to the point. 9th different lead change of the night here tonight amongst 6 different drivers. Austin Hill inside that Great House number 1 machine looks to finish it off tonight the right way. Started tonight's race outside row number 1, outside pole sitter here tonight. Can he bring that Great House sponsored 1 machine to victory lane, barring any incidents here? We do believe he's going to be able to do so with 10 to go. He's got himself a 3.6 second advantage over Alan Young. Young with a little bit of time over Darren Clement, but that's going to be a battle. So why don't we go watch this unfold for 2nd and 3rd on the track, as not much to be said up there with that one of Austin Hill. He's got this thing somewhat in the bag. 9 laps to go here from Pocono Raceway. Tell you what, why don't we jump back to this battle? This is one of the closer battles here. Rhett Tucker sitting inside the top 5. Last driver inside the top 5. He's got Eric Talent in that 05 machine tucked in right behind him. Talent looking to break into the top 5 here and finish with a solid run in the regular season. Can Tucker keep that 99 truck out in front? Gonna look at the tire difference, 3 lap difference on the tires for Talent. He's got the freshest ones, and he's gonna make his way to the bottom and right on around that 99 of Rhett Tucker. Tucker gonna drop back to 6th now. Will Talent be able to close in and run down Mike Van Houten? They both have the same lap count on the tire, so it may be a little bit of a rough go unless he just has pure raw speed in that 05. I have to wait to see how that unfolds. Alan Young still dealing with Darren Clement. He's got him by a half a second for the time being. Austin Hill still at that 3.5 second advantage over Young and Clement. Looking back through the field, next drivers that are going to start to begin to battle with each other. We'll jump back to right here. Driver sitting inside that 28 truck. Dynamark sponsored 28 of Ron Shute trying to close in on Kevin Haas. That's going to be a battle for the 7th position. But, you know, I really want to give this man right here a huge shout out, man. Inside this 77 Chevy Silverado, just quiet all night long, not really involved in too many racing. What's the word? I'm struggling to find the words that I'm trying to use here. Not really involved in too many side-by-side battles is how we'll just put it ever so simply. John Peel was just slowly, but surely, quietly made his way, not just inside the top 15, but now inside the top 10. The 77 sits 17 positions up from where he started tonight's race, way back in the field here. Heck of a run by the driver inside of that 77 Chevy Silverado. John Peel sits in 9th. Back to this battle right here. Haas has got company. Here comes Ron Schutte. He's going to try to take that 7th position away and drop Haas back to 8th. We'll see if he can catch him here. 6 laps remaining. 5 when we cross the line this time by race leader Austin Hill. Going to go by the line high 5. 5 laps remain. 5 to go here from Pocono. This is your closest battle on track, so we're going to stay with this one for just a moment here, see what happens between the 88 and the 28. We'll check back in with another battle a little bit further on back just outside of your top 10. There you can see them a little bit further back beginning to battle with each other. Tell you what, let's take an eye right here. Greg Olenek beginning to close in on Jeff Gluckner. That's going to be a short battle here very shortly, just under a half a second. Separate these two drivers. Back to the battle inside the top 10, though. Kevin Haas trying to keep that 7th position away from Ron Schutte, and Schutte is charging hard as Austin Hill makes his way off of turn number 3. Gonna head back towards the start-finish line. Cross the line that time by 4 laps remain here tonight in the regular season here for Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Performance Truck Series season number 3. We're gonna have a 5-race championship chase coming up right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network in the next few weeks. 5 very different tracks: Darlington, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Texas No Limits Motor Speedway, as well as Richmond Raceway. Then we will cap it all off and crown a king to season 3 down in Homestead, Miami, Florida, for the season finale championship night here coming up in just a handful of weeks. So if you haven't already, go ahead and write it down on the calendar. Tell you what, make it easy on yourself. Drop these drivers a thumbs up click subscribe, smash that bell on the right-hand side, and you'll get notified anytime we go live. That means each time we hit the track right here on your home for Swift, you will catch some great racing action all across all series with Swift Motorsports right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And also show these drivers some love. Let them know you appreciate everything they have shown and put down on the track here tonight. Not just about tonight, about what they've done for the past 2 seasons here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and for all they'll do in the upcoming seasons right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Go ahead, show these drivers some love and drop them a thumbs up. Back up at the front, Austin Hill popsicle sticks on display. 2 laps remaining as Hill begins to extend that gap just a little bit now, knocking on the door of a 4-second gap. Back to Alan Young. Darren Clement still holding on, still hanging out right there in that 3rd position, just about 0.6 of a second. Now back from Alan Young. Mike Van Houten still running in that 4th position. Eric Talent gonna round out your top 5. Rhett Tucker back in 6th. Kevin Haas in 7th. 8th place. Ron Judy 9th. John Peel and Michael Madden making some gains late. He's gonna get back to a top 10. We're gonna go check out this little battle. It's gonna be one coming to finish tonight's race to round out your top 10 as white flag final lap for the driver inside of the Great House. Sponsored one Toyota Tundra. Austin Hill looking to do what he did last year, and that's head to victory lane here in the Performance Truck Series. Look to do what he did in the real world at Knoxville Raceway and head to victory lane. And it looks like Hill has got this one in the bag, barring any catastrophic failures down here in the tunnel turn. He'll enter turn 2 for the final time. Head down the short chute to the greatest turn of them all, the world-famous turn 3 right here at Pocono Raceway in Austin Hill. Clean and clear. He'll make his way off the corner, back to the stripe. Checkered flag in the air and capturing the flag here tonight, walking away with the race win, his first win of the season. Austin Hill goes back to victory lane. Alan Young, Darren Clement gonna round out your podium spots. Mike Van Houten with a great run. He'll finish in 4th. Eric Talon back in 5th. Rhett Tucker gonna walk away from the track here in 6th tonight. What a run for Austin Hill. He was one of the fastest drivers all race long. He had some help when his toughest competitor, his teammate, the pole sitter, coming into tonight's race, Josh Winrich, had some trouble and unfortunately ended up out of tonight's race back at lap number 51. So a very tough break after a restart for that 84. So a little disappointed down there on the team, but a little bit happy that your teammate was able to pull it off. And Austin Hill gonna give us a smoke show for the fans in the stands on the front stretch. And as he enjoys his post-race celebrations, we're gonna step away for a brief commercial break, get things set up for your post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. and back trackside right here at Pocono Raceway as we get set to grab a few words with some of the drivers that walked away in the podium spots here tonight. So let's jump right on in. Let's see if we can't dial up the driver sitting inside of that 32 machine. Mr. Clement, it's Dave in the cave. You got me?
Hey, Dave.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right.
Heck yeah, man. Solid run for you here tonight. Going to finish the regular season with a podium. How you feeling after that third place run?
I'm feeling great, especially after first green flag pit stop. I made a mistake and got tagged for entering a little too fast, and I was fighting for a top 10 at that point, and then a late race caution saved us from being top 10 to top 5.
After that late race caution, was there ever a thought at maybe trying to come down a little early and maybe catch everybody off guard and possibly do an undercut?
There was, but I was, getting feedback on times, and in the long run, I would have just got chewed up. Uh, Austin and Josh, when they were out front, they were clicking off about a tenth, 2/10 a lap here and there on the long runs. So fresher tires would have been better and just a little bit more time, I think.
Well, Darren, you walked away with the race win at Charlotte Motor Speedway last week, walking away with a podium here tonight. Is the team building that momentum for when we start the chase next week at Darlington?
Sir, we're going out there. We're going to try to steal some wins away from these guys that are in a hunt for the championship. So, yeah, we ain't going north.
Heck yeah, man. That's what we like to hear. Well, man, again, congratulations on a fine run here tonight, walking away with third place from Pocono. Before we let you go, shout-outs, thank yous, love yous.
Yeah, thanks to the wife for letting me do this on Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights over here at Swift Motorsports. Thanks to Justin and the crew over at Swift Motorsports. Thanks to Dave up there in the booth making all the calls on Tuesday and Wednesday nights for us. And I just want to shout out to the boys back at ECM helping me prep for this race tonight. I was struggling a little bit and was able to find some speed. So thanks to them over there.
All right, my man. Well, we'll look to catch up with you in the chase and see if you can't spoil the show a little bit, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, there you have it. Darren Clement, happy to come away with a podium finish. Not in it for the championship here in the Performance Truck Series, so he's going to look to spoil the party in the show over these last 5 races as we head into the championship chase next time we hit the track next Tuesday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And now let's see if we can't go have a few quick words with the driver that walked away in the second position here tonight. Let's see if we can't dial up that 86 of Alan Young. It's Dave in the booth. You got your ears on, bud?
Sure do.
Hey, man, how you feeling after being able to walk away with a solid second place here to finish out this season?
Really good. This year's kind of been a struggle. We started the year off strong, and then we had some bad luck there early, and we've kind of turned up the heat here the past couple of weeks with some solid runs, not up to my par, but tonight's definitely one of them nights that you look back at it, it could be a championship momentum type race.
And that leads me right into my next question here, Alan. You came into tonight's race tied with the points lead, for the points lead, the regular season points lead. You were in the chase pretty solidly. You just basically had to show up tonight. So, as you just said, is the momentum building? Is the team heading the right way to maybe run it down to Homestead and snatch a championship?
I sure hope so. Last year, we made the Final Four, just weren't close enough at the end, but I think this year is the year. The guys have been really hard on the team, and I've been putting in effort on the off time and just trying to get better, and I think we're heading in the right direction.
All right. Well, Alan, it's been a pleasure to watch you all season long. A heck of a finish. Solid second place for you here tonight in race number 10 and season number 3. So before we let you go, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous? Thank anybody back home on that 86?
Yeah, everyone that came out to watch tonight, my kids, my parents, my sponsors, FSM Customs, Young Gun Creations, LA Sim Sport, and you for broadcasting. And I just got to say, heck of a battle with Austin Hill there at the end. I thought I had something for him till the pit stop.
Yeah, we thought you had something for him there too. Unfortunately, just kind of slipped it from your fingertips, but still a solid run for you and your crew here tonight, Alan. And we'll look to check in with you when we head to Darlington.
Sounds good.
All right, that's Alan Young, team building that momentum heading into those championship races. It's going to be a close chase, I can assure you that. And Alan Young feeling real good about his chances to get back to Homestead, Miami for another shot at a championship. And, well, we think he may very well just get there. But first, it's time to talk to the driver that came in and walked away with the checkered flag in victory lane with the one machine. Sorry there, Austin. A heck of a job, heck of a race win for you, bud.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Sorry about that. I hadn't changed my numbers. I'm not used to running the one truck. Uh, but yeah, it was a fun race. I hated to see Josh have his issues on that restart. Not really sure what happened, but I know he got caught up in that restart wreck, and I thought he was probably my biggest competition. He had led a lot of those laps, and I knew that if me and him could just kind of work together and stay together, we could drive away from the field and then be able to kind of sort it out throughout the race. He had some really good pit stops. I had to get better on my pit stops. Started getting better there at the end, and um, whenever he got taken out, and Alan was able to hang with me there throughout that run. I didn't really know when I needed to pit, but when I did pit and I saw that he pitted 2 laps after me, I just knew I had to run some qualifying laps, and sure enough, we were able to pull away far enough to where he couldn't run us down and come home with the win.
Well, you said it, you had to run some qualifying laps. I don't know if you know this, but your fastest lap of the race was faster than the qualifying time, and you set that on lap number 65 of the race here tonight. A 54:85.1 went on the board for you, so you absolutely were putting down those qualifying laps. But does the win, is it any kind of bittersweetness to it, knowing that your closest competition was a teammate and he had some issues here tonight?
Yeah, I mean Josh has been really good. He's won a lot of races since joining with Swift Motorsports, so I knew he was going to be really hard to beat. And I knew that I didn't want to take him out with him being a teammate or anything, but I was going to race him really hard at the end, and it was a shame to see him get taken out to see what could have happened at the end of the race. I think it could have been a really good run to the end. I think you could have seen me and him really battling hard there for the win, and clean air was real big. So I feel like whoever had the clean air, it was going to be hard to get around him. I'm not saying that I couldn't have got around him if I was behind him, but all in all, I mean, my great house company, Toyota Tundra, was really fast tonight. Um, like you said, I mean, when I came out of pit road, um, after that last pit stop, and I was able to run that lap time. I had found a few things on the racetrack throughout the run when I was following Josh that seemed to I was a little better than he was in certain areas, and he was a little better than me. And I just knew if I could put a whole lap together, that I could run a really quick lap. So I just really had to dig deep to run those lap times. I think if I wouldn't have ran those qualifying laps and got that big of a lead and that big of a cushion, Alan might could have gotten to me and had a little fresher tires and been able to run with me and possibly get around me. So I knew that if I could have got away from him to where he couldn't get a draft off of me, that it was going to be hard for him to get back to me.
Well, nobody was able to get back to you, and you were able to walk away with the checkered flag here tonight. So, congratulations. Heck of a job well done. A heck of a race win. Before we let you go and enjoy this one, though, Austin, would you like to give any shout outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody back home at the shop? And I'm going to add this in real quick. We don't have to discuss it, but man, crazy great win at Knoxville. I'm just going to put it out there, man. But Mike's yours. Thank yous, love yous.
Oh yeah, man, I appreciate that. Talking about Knoxville, it was. I'm not no dirt guy at all, so to be able to win at Knoxville is probably one of the most crazy things that has happened in my career. Just because I don't run any dirt stuff, I never really have. I've ran a few here and there, so that was pretty wild to win at a place like that. But yeah, I mean, switching back over to the iRacing world, I mean, I can't thank everybody at 4X enough. I know they've been running really good this season. They've had some wins and they've been running up front. So it's great to see 4X, doing as good as they are. Everybody with the Great House Company and all of our partners, Surf Pro, everybody that comes on board. I thought that this green truck, they said green's bad luck, but this truck looks really good, and it wasn't bad luck tonight. Um, so yeah, we'll go on to the next one and see if we can get some wins. It's kind of a bummer that I wasn't able to run these races before to get in the playoffs and do all that, and go for the chase. But man, I'm having fun getting back at it. I had some issues with my sim and things like that, so it was good to finally get it all sorted out and be able to come out here and play around with you guys.
Absolutely, man. Well, we're glad to see you back out there on the track here with Swift Motorsports. We look forward to seeing you over the next handful of weeks, and we're also going to wish you well in your real world racing as you've locked yourself in to that side of the championship things and the chase over there. So, good luck on that, and man, we'll catch up with you when we see you back at the track.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and appreciate everything that Swift Motorsports does. I think this is a really cool deal that they have going on, and they're building it up each and every season, and I think it's just going to keep growing from here. So it's really cool to see.
All right, well, there you have it. Final few words from race winner Austin Hill, capturing the flag at the end of tonight's regular season race here from Pocono. That's going to switch gears. We're going to get ready to go championship racing next week at the Lady in Black Darlington Raceway. The track too tough to tame. Will we see this one back on track? Will we see that 84 of Josh Winrich take another pole position, his third pole in a row? We'll have to wait till next week to find that on out. But first and foremost, we've got to get things done here tonight. Just a handful of things left to do to get this one officially in the bag, and it looks like producers already beginning to hit those buttons in the background. It's time to run down tonight's unofficial race results right here in race number 10 of the Swift Motorsports BUTTKICKER Performance Truck Series season finale. Austin Hill gonna put in park that Great House Toyota Tundra in the top spot. He'll walk away with the checkered flag. 86 of Alan Young gonna slot home in second, while Darren Clement rounds out your top three. Mike Van Houten with a great debut. He finishes top five. In the fourth position, Eric Talent, the 05, gonna round out your top five. The 99 of Rhett Tucker with a big surge through the field. He'll walk away in sixth. Kevin Haas up 10 positions from where he started tonight's race. 88 slots home in seventh. 28 Toyota Tundra of Ron Schutte gonna finish back in the 8th position, while your biggest mover of the race, the 77 of John Peel, up 17 spots. He finishes inside the top 10 in the 9th spot, while Michael Madden will round out your top 10. 34 of Jeffrey Green finishing tonight's race in 11th. 12th place goes to Greg Olenek. Jeff Glockner gonna slot home in 13th. 14th place tonight to the 10 of David Cameron, while Jonathan Holston, the 73, will round out your top 15. Big Mac John McMillan Sr. walking away with 16th on the track tonight. Brian Jablonski gonna finish in 17th. 18th position, I apologize. 19th goes to Tommy Holt. Josh Weinrich, your pole sitter. Trouble here tonight. He finishes 30 laps down in the 20th spot. Jeff Snyder gonna walk away 21st. 22nd goes to the 31 of Stephen Ayers Jr., while Little John McMillan Jr. gonna finish back in 23rd. Vadim Kosadoy will round out your field of drivers here tonight. Big tip of the cap, shout out, thank you, and you're welcome to your race control and admins, Austin Alberton, Justin Gann, and Gary Wells up there in race control. And that's gonna pretty much do it. That's gonna bring us to the end of tonight's race coverage. Get ready to go, because we're gonna switch gears with Swift Motorsports. We're going to head back to Charlotte Motor Speedway for race number 10 in the regular season finale for the Breezy Acres Dairy Farms Xfinity Series, so keep your eyes peeled for that one as well. If you haven't already, race fans, drop these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, smash that bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. So with that being said, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in Turn 3.